At the White House in September of 1963, the late President John F. Kennedy had a pleasant duty to perform.
Due to the members of Congress, 97 members of Congress sponsored this legislation, and 97 senators. And I think the overwhelming support that was given in the Congress and the country, Bob, shows the great affection that all of us hold for you, and most especially the great appreciation we have for you for many years, going so many places to entertain the sons, daughters, brothers, and sisters of Americans who were very far from home. This is a great thing. There's only one sobering thought, that I received this for going outside the country. I think they're trying to tell me something, but I do appreciate it, and I want to thank the President for inviting my family. I enjoyed meeting them. And this will mean a lot to my kids. It won't explain why I wasn't in the service, but it at least will point out which side I was on.
Literally, millions of Americans who in the past 2 decades have worn their country's uniform join now in saying to Bob Hope, thanks for the memory. The memories in this case go back a long way. Early in the Pacific campaigns of World War II, Hope and company toured the mosquito net circuit, working without let-up, sometimes doing several shows a day, bringing the special something they had to give. A breath of home, a break from the tensions of combat, the therapy of laughter.
Hi, Clem.
Hi.
Where are you going?
Listen.
What do you got in the mouth?
Worm.
Well, good luck.
Who's this boy here? This boy.
Jerry Colonna, the comedian.
How come 2 big guys like you aren't in the service?
Watch your language here, brother. What is he, part deaf, this boy? Watch yourself, you hear me? Think before you talk now. Think. Well, some night.
Some night.
Some park.
Some park.
Some moon.
Some moon.
Some bench.
Some bench.
Some grass.
Some grass.
Some dew.
I don't.
Well, there's nothing like finding out right away, you know what I mean?
Back in the States, he continued to work for service audiences via radio transcription. The command performance shows saw him as a repeated guest star and master of ceremonies.
But I really had a wonderful trip. Wherever I went, the soldiers posted me, and now I'm back. A guy can stand getting hot but for just so long, you know. You know, the weather down there is like it is here. Of course, they have a light sprinkle now and then. A light sprinkle, that's South Pacific. For man the boats, boys, the island disappeared again.
It all began with World War II, but it did not end there. In 1948, while the Berlin airlift crisis boiled, Hope clowned for the tired Air Force men who were writing the airlift story into history.
I'm now getting my material from H.V. Coltonborn. Well, I'm a little tired tonight. I just got back from Camp Roberts, drove down 200 miles in a Jeep. Tomorrow I get the order of the Purple Callus. But I had a swell time, and I slept right in the barracks last night with the boys. You know what barracks are. That's 2,000 cots separated by individual crap games. But anyway, let's hit the Harmony Trail to all APO and FPO numbers. For Fletch, Alfie, and Dooley, and for all of you everywhere, the girl who can defuse a blockbuster with one kiss, Miss Betty Hutton.
Thank you. Hiya, fellas. And hello, Bob.
Well, hiya, Betty. And say, I want to congratulate you on your big hit in our new picture. It's nice to see a youngster coming up.
It's nice to see an oldster holding his own.
Well, that's fine. And now, Betty, as one of the 3 flying Huttons, will you answer a slew of command performance requests and strafe us with that 50 caliber tune? He says murder, he says.
Finally found a fella almost completely divine. But his vocabulary is killing this romance of mine. We get into an intimate situation, and then begins this Romeo's conversation. Is that the language of love? He says, pep, pep, with helium. Now, babe, we're cooking, and other expressions to it. He says, we're into groove, and the groove is good looking. He sounds like his uppers don't fit. He says murder! He says murder! And away he says murder, and that impossible dawn. I've told him over and over and over again that it'll be nobody else's murder. Boy, that is all.
Yes, sir, a vitamin pill with legs. How about that? Thanks, Betty Hutton. And also the 300
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bob's Seventh War Lone Hope, telling you to buy those bonds, get that load off your hips, and when the war is over, your pocketbook will be in the chips. Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoy our show, and just to give you an idea as to the quality, we're going to open with Betty Grable and her Bombardiers in Marching to a Love Song. You all know who Betty Grable is. That's Hollywood's answer to the fuel shortage. And here she is, Betty Grable.
You'll be marching there beside me, even though we're apart. I'll be marching to a love song, the love song in my heart. Marching along, marching with love in my
Thank you. Thank you, Betty Grable. Thank you, girls. Aren't they pretty? You'd think having beautiful girls around like that all the time would bother a fellow like me, but I'd really done...
Ain't funny, Hope. Ain't funny.
They're giving the extras lines to read now. Silly boy. And now here's a great musical aggregation, Harry James and his boys. And also a fellow that used to work with him, Mr. Swoon himself, the old calypso singer, Frank Sinatra.
Until you're in my arms once more, Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week.
Thank you, Frankie. Thank you. Just lie down there any place. That was B2 Sinatra, folks. The only singer that has given Crosby any competition since Jenny Lind. Well, we've had Betty Grable for the men and Frank Sinatra for the women, so here's Mr. In-Between. The one man who's happy that they put a curfew on the Stork Club, old Chub and Blub Crosby.
Thank you very much, fatter than me. It's revolting the people you have to follow these days, isn't it? A leopard gets better spots than this.
Buy, 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 buy a bond. Buy a bond. And by, the bonds you buy will bring you victory. Buy, 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 buy a bond. Buy a bond. And you'll be standing by the victory arch when Johnny comes marching home again. Oh, you should need no request. Buy a bond. For after all, in the best, till the lads come back again, back to the old attack again, and buy, buy, buy.
As the Cold War years went on, there was a whole new series of tours. For troops far from home at the Christmas season, there was always hope and a couple of hours of entertainment. A space of time in which to forget about isolation, constantly hostile climate, loneliness, or better still, to laugh at them.
Thank you. Hello, fellow truth or consequences losers. I can't tell you how happy I am to be up here on the moon with you. Thank you very, very much, General Armstrong. Thank you, tourists. Very thrilled to be here. I am in Alaska, ladies and gentlemen. So much for your early warning system. Good to be here at Fairbanks. I'll never forget those smiling faces on the boys as we got off of the plane. They thought we were replacements.
There is calculation in this glib, rapid-fire wisecracking. If you can get a man to laugh at the things that trouble him...
Well, the weather's been fine here. The other day, the temperature shot up to 30 below. And, of course, the fellows here are very weather conscious. They're always watching the thermometer. It's the only thing up here with a figure. And the weather's quite bracing here. Bracing. I stepped outside this morning, took a deep breath, and I had to have my nostrils rebored. Everything freezes just like that up here. In fact, when you wake up in the morning, don't open your eyes unless you intend to get up.
One year, the troupe took a break from the frostbite circuit to tour a number of American bases in the Caribbean.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at Fort Davis in the Panama Canal. This is the first stop on our Christmas tour, the Panama Canal Zone. I just thought I'd drop in and rinse out a few things. Now, Panama's a very small country, but we're lucky it's here. Otherwise, the Pacific Ocean would leak all over the Atlantic. Yes, sir, the Panama Canal is one of our more strategic areas. There's 10,000 men down here making sure nobody pulls the stopper. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Gitmo, the Navy's answer to Birdland. This is Guantanamo, or as it's sometimes called, Little Alcatraz. Yes, sir. Guantanamo's a Navy term meaning I hear you knocking, but you can't come in.
The next year, defrosted and with a fresh crop of gags, he was back in the frozen north.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bob Hope coming to you from Newfoundland, Labrador, Iceland, and Greenland. You know, 2 years ago I visited Berlin. You know what a mess that is. Last year I visited Cuba. You know what a disaster that became. This year they sent me here. We're here again in Thule, Greenland. This is our second shot at Operation Brass Monkey. Now, there are no women here, only 7 nurses. The motto of this base is Think Sick. Well, I'm very happy to be here at beautiful Argentia Naval Station, the Miami of the North. What the captain told me. Argentia, that means recreation area for seagulls. Argentia's a naval air base. They have to have planes here. It's too wet for boats. Yes, sir. Goose Bay, Labrador. This is a great base for operating your own still. Elliot Ness would never find you here. Of course, the big activity here is the same as the back home, only more so, sitting in front of the television set. Rawhide isn't a program. It's a way of life. Some of the programs don't make sense here, like Mr. Ed. I heard one soldier say, "What's so funny about a guy talking to a horse?" He was talking to a polar bear at the time. And he was getting funnier answers. Well, you know how it is with a girlfriend. They giggle at anything.
But now for the whole AEF, for the Army nurses and Red Cross girls, civilian workers on the fighting fronts, and for the 512 gang who signed themselves Squarehead Bakowski, Cyclops Sink, Body Meeks, Stuka Martin, Incendiary Stasi Wahi, and Sad Sack Jack. Here's one of your all-time sweethearts, another command performance for that lovely sweater girl, Judy Garland.
Thanks, Bob. Hiya, fellas. Sweater girls. Bob, why are men so crazy about sweater girls?
I don't know, Judy. That's one mystery I'd like to unravel.
In 20 years' time, if you work at it, you can do a lot of giving. Bob Hope and Company have worked at it. So from Americans in uniform of every service, from the tropics to the Arctic, from the 1940s to the 1960s, to an amazingly durable man of wit and goodwill, thanks for the memory.